What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and we're going to be going over the markets. Also, looking at Bitcoin. Will Bitcoin be able to break 30,000 and hold? And if so, where will we be looking to go? We're going to take a look at that chart. These are charts I've showed you for a very long time, and we're going to also take a look at the Wyckoff schematics and see where I think we go if Bitcoin's able to break 30,000 and hold. So definitely stick around for the whole video. Make sure you smash that thumbs up. Leave your comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you want daily updates. Let's get into it. So silver, as you guys know, this chart's about 2 years old. I'm looking for a break of this $20.50 range, and then my target has been 15.6, and I've talked about it many times. If that breaks, meaning traditionals will probably dump. One thing that I point out, and you can go into the charts and test it yourself, when the markets crash, gold and silver crash right along with it. Not quite as hard as the markets, but they crash right along with it, right? You always see a bunch of commercials, especially right around the time markets are topping. Buy gold, buy silver. If it's going to continue up so high, why would they be selling it to you? Because they are exiting. Same thing happens in Bitcoin. Let's take a look at what's going on. So there's my targets for silver. And if we take a look at gold, right now we're right at the golden pocket zone at around 1987. If we're able to get above that for gold, then I look for the 0.786, and that's around 2023. That will probably get a lot more people bullish on gold. Unless gold breaks this high and holds above this 2081 range, I do think gold's going to get a huge rejection. I've showed you guys many times before. I do believe that this is just a huge 5-wave count, and the 5th wave is over. We had a triple top on the weekly for gold. I still believe that to be true, and I do think there is much more downside for gold. We have targets all the way. These are weekly targets. Let's look at the daily real quick. This has been my target for a long time, 1565. I still think that's where we're headed, somewhere in that range, possibly as low as 14. But if this bottom trend line breaks here, guys, it could get very nasty very quickly. And that's around the 14. You could actually move this up a little bit. We could put it to where the 0.618 is, right about here. So around 1431-ish. If that breaks, then we can look for much lower gold. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ broke out of this rising channel, as you guys know. We've been talking about this for a very long time. We can move that trend line up, but my measured move target from this is around 12.5. Still looking for that. And the Dow Jones, as you guys know, we've hit most of our targets here. Let me pull this down. So if we put a 1-to-1 extension here, that gets us down to about 27.3. I don't know why I had that up there. But a 1-to-1 extension from this being a big A, B, and C. B is usually a wedge like this, or not usually, often a wedge like this, or you could look at it as an ABC. Either way you look at it, looks like much more downside. Now, if the markets are able to rally and get a push up to retest this wedge, could go as high as 35.1. So if that happens, that would obviously bring Bitcoin up with it. And that's where we'll take a look at the bullish case for Bitcoin if it's able to break 30,000 and hold. Let's take a look at S&P. S&P, same thing, broke out of its rising channel. Our measured move for S&P is around 37.7. If that breaks 32.9, which would be the 1-to-1 extension, making this a ABC. If it does drop harder, which I do think possible, these are my targets down as low as 2,500. Taking a look at the DXY. So a lot of people have been calling the DXY dead since way down here, right? And this is the 4-hour chart, guys. Once we're able to break above the 106.8, I think it will continue up very quickly. My target is 109. And then we have one at 115 and much higher targets depending on how bad the bear market gets, right? Now, what should hold is right here around 105, right? That is our 0.382 fib, right? If we do get a dump here, that would be the markets going up. That would be Bitcoin breaking 30K. But again, I'm going to show you where I think Bitcoin would be headed if that happens. Another thing I want to look at real quick is the 10-year yield. We are getting rejected at this trend line, which I believe to be the neckline of an inverse head and shoulders. We've talked about that plenty of times right here. Get that off there. One thing we were looking at is this broadening wedge right here. If we take a measured move of the broadening wedge, which we broke out of, came back down, tested for support, got support, and continue up. If we can break this trend line here, if we can break this 5%, get above and hold, looking for about 7%. And then if we take a measured move looking at that head and shoulders, you would measure from the neckline to the head, bring it up if that was the break. So I'm looking between 7% and 8.3% for the US 10-year yield. That's what I'm looking for. If that happens, obviously the markets will be crashing. So right now we're at this resistance here. The markets could take advantage of that and get a little push up. If you guys are interested in trading before we go any further, make sure you check out Prime XBT. You can use my promo code SAVVY50 to get you up to a $7,000 bonus used towards your margin. SAVVY25 will get you 25% off your fees. You can trade crypto, forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, nickel, Dow Jones, tons of stuff, all from one exchange. Links down below. Definitely check it out. And if you are going to trade, make sure you use my promo code SAVVY50 and SAVVY25. You can use them both at the same time. So let's take a look at this. These are the schematics. I drew these out for you guys a couple weeks ago. Went over it in the video. Before this happened, this was what we had it looking like. So if this is going to run like the distribution, Wyckoff distribution, let me pull up the chart here. If it's going to hold up like the schematic number 2, you can see how it's playing out. That would mean this is the top here. Now, again, I'm going to show you the bullish case too, but if this was the top here, it's down from here, guys, in this area, right? It hit almost exactly where I drew the line here. Let's take a look at the schematic number 1. Now, if you guys were around, if you guys were around back in March of 2021, before it topped out, I drew the same schematic out and told you the top would be 64 to 65K before crashing down, which it did. Now we're looking at the same type thing here. If we're able to break that 30K and actually hold, that doesn't mean just a wick above, then we would be looking for this area right here. Somewhere in between, obviously breaking the high of 31.9 up to 33.3-ish area. This would be a great opportunity to short if we make it up there. If we do make it up there, just like when I told you guys if we made it to 31.5, I would short. I'm going to do the same thing here. Short up here once it breaks this high. On low leverage, of course, and then you can add to your margin as it comes down if it does break back down after reaching this level. That would be a great bull trap. Again, if we hold above 30K, this is what I'm looking for. Otherwise, I'm still looking for this right here. And if we can pull up the schematic right next to that one too and just show you the resemblance. Let me show you. The same thing, like I said, in March. And the people that were around in March of 21 that were watching my videos made a ton of money here. And we could be making the exact same move, guys. So you can see it right here. Do you see the resemblance, right? Same type pattern, guys. Over and over we see these patterns. This is Wyckoff distribution, and what distribution is they are distributing to all the people getting bullish, right? That's why in distribution phase you see a lot of bullish news, but a lot of bullish articles, a lot of hype. It's getting people to buy their shares, and that's in the stock market. Obviously, this is getting people to buy their Bitcoin at higher prices, and then they just keep dumping on them until obviously a big collapse. This is the daily chart I showed you guys. So this was the old Wyckoff distribution over here, right? The one I called the 64 to 65K. And then you can see what happened after it. But over here, let's draw a trend line off of these lows right here. Do the same thing over here. Now, this gets invalidated if it's schematic 1, right? But either way, if you look here, we dropped down below the trend line, came back up, couldn't quite get to it, just like we're doing right now. There's a good chance that this does continue down from here. But again, we have to watch that 30K range. Now let's take a look at the monthly. So on the monthly, it does look like a reverse diamond forming right here, unless we break up above that. Like I said, above 30K and hold, right? But this diamond pattern is looking pretty valid right now on the monthly. We'll see how the monthly ends. I do think we could see a massive, massive drop very quick, very soon. And the problem with that is, with everyone being bullish, is they won't have time to get out. So just be careful. If this does happen, it's going to be quick and hard. So here's my wave count for the bubble pop, right? You have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 should not pass wave 1 right here, right? Which it has not yet. That's at about 33,000, right in that range. If it does pass that, then the 5-wave counts out. Now let's take a look at the daily. Another chart I've been showing is a possible head and shoulders here. And there's the neckline. You take a measured move from the head to the shoulder. If we break down past this point right here, it's around 25,000. The measured move is 17.8. I do believe could still see Bitcoin's bottom somewhere between 35 and 9,700. Nothing has changed in a macro to make me believe any different. So here's the 4-hour, just taking a look at, this was at 31.5, where I told everybody would be a great short, which it was. And as of right now, we are getting rejected at the, let's put the, so those are trend-based fibs. Let's put the fib retracement on here from the high over here at 31.8. And we bring it down to the low. And you can see we're getting rejected so far at the 0.786. If we continue getting rejected here, break back down, like I said, let's put a measured, or I'm sorry, let's put the trend-based fib extension from the top of wave 1, right, which is over here. Let's put that right there, and we'll go to the bottom of wave 2 for your second fib, and then up to, or I'm sorry, the bottom of wave 1 and then the top of wave 2. And as you can see here, third wave should get you down to 1.618, which is around 19,000, right? But we do have a measured move depending on if, when, and where this rising broadening wedge breaks. If we do continue down, gets us around that 17.5 range. 17.5, 17.6, somewhere in that range. Actually, it would be around 17.8, 17.7-ish, which matches up with our other targets over here, right? So that's something to watch for. Be very careful. I know it's exciting when Bitcoin moves up, but guys, the traditionals are not looking good. I think the biggest money grab in history is coming. I've been warning people of this for quite some time. The good thing about it is it's huge opportunity for those with patience. Let's take a look at BNB. Guys, I've been telling you, once this 202 range breaks, BNB may be the catalyst of all of this. So just beware, be careful. My target after 202 has been and remains 153. If that breaks, 69. If 69 breaks, this thing is just a capitulation. Binance is done if that happens. So XRP got some more hype. Nothing really happened. As you guys know, I think this is just a dead coin. Nothing against Ripple. Ripple Labs, obviously, as a company, might be okay, but XRP is absolutely vaporware, useless, in my opinion. Be your own judge on that. I'm just giving you my opinion. Quick look at Ethereum, getting rejected right at the high volume node, which is also the 55 EMA. Like I said, watch for a break of 1482. If that breaks, look for, well, you have a high volume node at 1215, but I don't believe that would hold, especially if all the markets are coming down. My next target would be 926. If that breaks, 597. If that breaks, 280. Litecoin. Litecoin is retesting this trend line again. We do have the 55 EMA still right around 66. So if we do get up there, I would expect just a wick. But so far, You guys know my targets here, between 15 and 25 bucks for Litecoin. Tesla. Tesla is coming down as we expected. I'm a buyer at between 40 and 50 bucks. Been telling you guys that for over a year. We called the drop back here. Told you watch for a retest, which we got. Much further down to go for Tesla, in my opinion. So just be careful out there, guys. Have an awesome weekend. Happy Friday. And I appreciate each and every one of you stopping by. Make sure you don't forget to smash that thumbs up. Leave your comments down below, and I'm out.